Hey warrior. Ha. Take a look at your life. I'm not talking about how it appears from the outside. I'm talking about what it feels like deep inside your head. Those late nights consumed by scrolling distractions and a quiet frustration. The mornings where your body is awake but your spirit is still dormant. The constant background noise in your mind whispering, you should be doing more. You should be becoming more. That voice is not your enemy. That voice is your inner warrior trying to shake you awake. At some point along the way, you started slipping. You brought your standards down. You compromised. You told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. And now every day feels the same. You're not broken, but you've been drifting. You've been letting mediocrity feel normal. But let me make this clear. It is not normal for a warrior to feel this soft on the inside. It is not normal to keep letting down your own potential. It is not normal to shut down your hunger for growth just to remain comfortable. You were not built to just survive. You were built to turn pressure into power. To feel chaos and respond with control, to stand still while the world around you falls apart. That is the Stoic way. That is the path of the warrior. So why does everything feel wrong? Because weakness has snuck in. Not all at once, but gradually in the form of laziness, excuses, endless comparison, emotional reactions, overthinking, distractions, and the worst part, you've probably gotten skilled at hiding it. You know how to appear fine on the surface while fighting a quiet war behind your eyes. But a warrior doesn't run from war. He wins it. And it all starts with one decision, to destroy weakness, not push it down, not run away from it, to confront it directly, expose it, and eliminate it, so the stronger version of you can finally step forward. This video isn't about motivation. It's not about hype. It's about a complete reset, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this reset comes with 3 commands. Reset your beliefs so you no longer think like a victim or a prisoner to your emotions. Restart your inner fire so discipline becomes second nature, not something you force. Refocus your purpose so every move you make is aligned with who you're evolving into, not who you've been. In this video, you're going to learn 8 brutal warrior truths. Each one is rooted in Stoic philosophy. Real ancient wisdom built for battle-tested minds. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just pure clarity. Each truth will point out a weakness you've allowed to grow inside of you. And I'll show you how to destroy it with silence, action, and mastery over yourself. But before we get into it, you need to grasp something. Nobody is coming to fix you. Not your parents, not your past relationships, not some perfect morning routine or a flawless plan. It's all on your shoulders now. And that's not something to be afraid of. That's something to claim. Because if it's all on you, then you hold the power to change everything. You can rewrite your entire story. You can stop being a prisoner to your past and start leading your future. But only if you choose the difficult road, the Stoic road, the warrior's road. And that road demands silence, control, self-respect, and sacrifice. It demands that you stop pointing fingers and start building. That you stop waiting around and start moving whether anyone is watching or not. No more making excuses for weakness. No more labeling it self-care when it's really just avoidance. You already know what needs to be done. You just haven't been doing it. Why? Because comfort is easy. Comfort is addictive. Comfort never demands anything more. But comfort never brought you pride. Comfort never brought you power. Comfort never brought you real peace. And deep down, you know this. So from this point on, you stop chasing motivation. You start looking in the mirror. You start showing up when it gets tough. You start fighting like someone who is done settling for average. Waste no more time debating what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Don't just read about Stoicism. Live it. Move with calm. Talk with power. Train in silence. Operate with discipline. Don't consume this like it's just entertainment. Take it in like your life is riding on it. Enough talking. Enough putting things off. Let the warrior rise. Music. Number 1. Destroy emotional reactivity. Become the eye of the storm. If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus Aurelius. One of the biggest signs of inner weakness is emotional reactivity. You blow up when someone shows you disrespect. You shut down when things don't turn out the way you wanted. You let small frustrations consume your whole day. This is not strength. This is being enslaved. A warrior does not allow the outside world to dictate his inner state. He plants himself at the center of the storm, calm, grounded, and in command even when everything around him is chaos. But let's keep it real, most people are emotionally weak. They operate like puppets, yanked around by opinions, insults, rejection, and disappointment. Their mood shifts based on how others treat them. That's not power. That's dependency. So what does Stoicism teach us? It teaches emotional sovereignty. It reminds you that your emotions are yours to manage. You can feel anger and decide not to act on it. You can feel sadness and still show up for what matters. You can be wounded without turning bitter. But how do you actually build that? It starts with awareness. The moment something sets you off, pause. Don't react right away. Observe. Ask yourself, is this worth giving up my peace for? Practice detachment. Not indifference, but detachment from the belief that you have to react. You don't owe anyone your emotional energy. You owe yourself control. Keep in mind, storms are always going to come. Heartbreak, betrayal, failure, criticism. But if you can take command of your inner world, the outer world stops having power over you. You don't turn cold. You become unshakable. You don't ignore your emotions. You govern them like a king. You don't kill your heart. You train your mind to steer it. This is the foundation of the reset. Learning to guard your mind like a fortress. Don't let anything in without your say-so. The next time someone tries to knock you off course, recall who you are. You're not a slave to your reactions. You are a warrior who picks his response with power and precision. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my emotions. Number 2. Destroy the victim mentality. Take ruthless ownership. Don't go on discussing what a good person should be. Just be one. Marcus Aurelius. You can't reset your life while you're still blaming others for why it's in pieces. The second big weakness you need to eliminate is the victim mindset. This is the mental illness that says it's not my fault. But here's the real truth. As long as you keep assigning blame to others, you're handing away your power. We've all carried trauma. We've all faced unfair moments, absent parents, betrayal, heartbreak, failure. But you don't need to pretend it didn't cause you pain. What you need is to make sure it no longer steers your life. Pain is real, but suffering is something you choose. Stoicism shows us that what happens to us is rarely something we can control, but what we choose to do with it, that's always in our hands. You may not be the one who caused your wounds, but healing them is entirely your responsibility. If you want to restart your life with a warrior's mindset, you have to shift from asking why did this happen to me to asking what am I going to do about it now. Most people stay trapped because they keep waiting on someone else to fix things, to say sorry, to explain, to give them closure. Warriors don't wait around. They claim ownership of everything, their emotions, their results, their future. Look at your life as a battlefield. Are you sitting in the dirt, grumbling about how hard it is, or are you on your feet, weapon in hand, ready to fight your way through? Even in philosophy, Epictetus, once a man in slavery, taught that the real prison is the mind, and the way out is taking ownership. The moment you stop saying I can't and start saying I will, everything shifts. So what's actually holding you back right now? Your past, someone who wounded you, the fear of failing once more. Whatever it is, own it. Face it head on. Don't sit around waiting for someone to save you. Be the one who pulls yourself out. No one is coming to the rescue. And that's not a gloomy thought. It's empowering because that means the outcome is in your hands. And that's exactly where real change begins. You are not a victim of your life. You are the one writing it. And starting right now, you rewrite the story. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not a victim. I take full control of my life. Number 3. Destroy comfort addiction. Chase the fire that builds you. Just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment and works around it, so too can we turn every hardship into fuel. Marcus Aurelius. Weakness thrives in comfort. Discipline is forged in discomfort. And if you've been feeling stuck, lost, or empty inside, it's probably because you've been living too easy for too long. We don't just escape pain anymore. We worship comfort. Endless scrolling, junk food, constant distractions, always picking the path of least resistance. And what has that earned us? Anxiety, weakness, regret. You can't reset your life while still bowing down to comfort at the same time. You need to destroy your addiction to it. A warrior's mindset knows that discomfort isn't something to fear. It is the engine that drives growth. Want clarity? Sit by yourself with no phone. Want real strength? Get up when every part of you doesn't want to. Want peace? Confront the things you've been running from. Comfort whispers that you've done enough. Discipline tells you that you haven't even begun. The Stoics didn't chase luxury or ease. They deliberately put themselves through hardship, fasting, cold exposure, silence. Not because they loved suffering, but because they understood that true strength comes through struggle. If you keep dodging difficulty, you'll never build the mental toughness to handle what life throws at you. Every time you choose the easier path, you shrink. But every time you pick the hard way, you grow. It doesn't need to be flawless. It just needs to push you hard enough to force real progress. So the next time you hit resistance, don't back away. Step into it. That resistance is exactly where your weak self starts to fade and your strong self begins to emerge. Reset your habits. Restart your training. Refocus your drive. Become the person who runs toward the fire, because fire doesn't destroy warriors, it shapes them. Number 4. Destroy distraction. Refocus like your life depends on it. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential, which brings a double satisfaction to do less better. Marcus Aurelius. You can't reset your mind if it's constantly being pulled in different directions. You can't restart your purpose if you're scattered everywhere. You can't refocus if something is grabbing your attention every few minutes. One of the most underrated weaknesses that is quietly ruining people is distraction. The modern world is a war zone of noise, scrolls, pings, notifications, updates, endless choices, and the casualty is your focus. Stoicism teaches us the art of doing less and doing it well. A Stoic doesn't burn time on what doesn't matter. A Stoic sharpens their focus like a blade. Why? Because your attention is your power, and the moment you scatter it, you lose your way. Think about it. How many times have you picked up your phone to do one quick thing and then burned through 45 minutes scrolling through apps, reels, and random content? You don't just lose time. You lose your momentum. The mind, much like a sword, gets dull if it's not kept sharp. A scattered mind can't strategize. It can't reflect. It can't evolve. That's how distraction kills your dreams. It turns warriors into wanderers. If you want to rebuild your mindset the way a warrior does, you need to wage war against distraction. Start cutting out what's unnecessary. Clean up your digital environment. Mute your notifications. Block out time for deep focus. Guard your mornings. Don't just try to focus, train yourself to focus. It's a muscle, and it's what divides the weak from the elite. The Stoic mind demands clarity, and clarity only comes from stillness. You need space to think, to hear yourself, to line up your daily actions with your bigger vision. Remember, if they can take your attention, they can run your mind. And if they run your mind, they own your future. Stop letting distraction steal your power. Focus is your new weapon. Wield it like everything depends on it, because it does. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my focus. My future depends on it. Number 5. Destroy excuses. Pick the warrior over the complainer. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Epictetus. Excuses are the stories we tell ourselves to feel okay about not doing the work. They sound reasonable, even logical on the surface. But the truth is, every excuse is a chain keeping you locked to the weaker version of yourself. Let's keep it honest. Everyone has reasons why they can't. Not enough time, wrong moment, too drained, too overwhelmed, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for the perfect setup. But here's what separates warriors from everyone else: they move forward anyway. The warrior doesn't sit around waiting for everything to feel right. He takes action despite the discomfort, despite the fear, despite how inconvenient it is. Because at his core he understands that every excuse is just a choice to stay weak. No Stoic ever hid behind excuses. They embraced hardship. They didn't grumble. They conquered. Even when Epictetus was enslaved and physically disabled, he never said "I can't." He zeroed in on what was still within his control and used it to build his mental strength. Every time you reach for an excuse, you delay your reset. You drag out your suffering. You keep the weaker you alive. And here's the uncomfortable truth: excuses feel good right now, but they eat you alive in the long run. So cut off the voice in your head that says "I'll start tomorrow," "I'm too drained," "it's not fair," "nobody supports me." That voice isn't really you. It's your fear dressed up as logic. Don't engage with it. Shut it down with action. Every single day, you're handed two choices. Be the warrior or be the complainer. One builds. One points fingers. One commits. One grumbles. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a strong enough reason. You don't need everything to line up perfectly. You need the discipline to begin today. Don't defend your excuses. Crush them. Show up when you're drained. Show up when you're scared. Show up when you're not at your best. Just show up, because excuses don't build strength. Taking action does. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I destroy excuses. I choose action over weakness. Number 6. Destroy the fear of failure. Fall, learn, come back stronger. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. One of the greatest things holding back your potential is the fear of failing. Most people aren't truly living, they're just tiptoeing through their days, terrified of stumbling. They're afraid to start something because it might not pan out. They're afraid to try because it might sting. But what they fail to see is that doing nothing is actually the slowest way to fail. A Stoic warrior doesn't look at failure as the end of the road. He sees it as fuel, as feedback, as a necessary sting that sharpens him. Life isn't about getting everything right. It's about becoming strong enough to keep moving when things fall apart. Think about how many chances you've let pass you by because of fear. How many times you held yourself back from speaking up, taking action, or starting something new because of what could go wrong. That fear, that's weakness talking in your ear. Silence it. Real strength isn't built by staying away from defeat. It's built by running into it, falling down, and refusing to stay on the ground. When a warrior fails, he doesn't lose who he is. He gains understanding. He breaks down the failure. He comes back smarter, sharper, and more formidable the next time around. Failure isn't your enemy. Comfort is. Fear isn't the real problem. Avoidance is. Failure will find you, that's guaranteed. But the real question is, will you let it define who you are, or will you use it to redesign yourself? Every legend you look up to has failed at some point. Marcus Aurelius faced sickness, betrayal, and relentless loss and still held firm in his principles and his actions. Why? Because Stoics don't measure themselves by how many times they won. They measure themselves by how quickly they get back on their feet after they fall. Start looking at failure from a new angle. Stop asking "what if I lose?" Start asking "what if I learn something that shifts everything?" No more chasing perfection. No more playing it safe. Take the shot. Take the risk. Take the leap. And if you fall, fall with pride. Rise with purpose. And keep moving like a warrior who refuses to give up. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I rise every time I fall. Number 7. Destroy the need for validation. Approve yourself first. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Marcus Aurelius. One of the quietest things destroying your true self is your hunger for validation. You might not even notice it, but every time you hesitate, overthink, or hold yourself back because of what people might think, you give away your power. You walk away from your truth. The warrior's path is a solitary one because it's not built on people cheering for you. It's built on being aligned with yourself. The world might not celebrate you. Your friends might not get it. Even your family might question what you're chasing. And that's fine. Warriors don't move based on approval. They move based on truth. Stoicism lays this out with sharp clarity. You can't control the way others see you, but you can control whether that changes how you see yourself. And the second you start designing your life around being liked is the second you betray who you really are. So ask yourself, who are you actually living for? The version of you that chases likes, approval, compliments, and external praise will always be weak, because its foundation is built on something that shifts constantly, what other people think. But the version of you that stands firm in silence, that keeps pushing forward without anyone cheering, that keeps building when no one's watching, that version is dangerous. That version is free. You don't need the whole world to like you. You need to be at peace with who you are when you're alone. That's the true measure of peace. Start doing things for yourself, not to impress anyone, but to express who you are. Build quietly. Grow behind closed doors. Let your results do the talking so loudly that people can't help but notice, even if you don't care whether they do. Keep this in mind, validation is a drug. And just like any drug, the more you need it, the weaker you become the moment it's gone. So step away from it. Withdraw. Learn to stand on your own ground. Because the day you start approving yourself, nobody else holds any power over your worth. Number 8. Destroy your old identity. Reinvent yourself without stopping. When the soul suffers what it must, the body learns what it is. Seneca. The most dangerous weakness of all is believing you are exactly who you've always been. That you're stuck with your old identity, your worn-out patterns, your past failures, your name, your story, and that you have to keep wearing the same mask just because it feels familiar. But here's the truth. The strongest warriors are the ones who keep reinventing themselves. You can't reset your mind if you keep running the same identity over and over. If you keep telling yourself I'm just lazy. I've always been emotional. I've never been disciplined, you are writing weakness into your very core. Your past is one chapter, not the whole book. The Stoics understood that we are continuously shaped by the choices we make, not by where we've been. You can begin again right this second. You can construct a new identity piece by piece, thought by thought, action by action. But here's what stops most people in their tracks: they hold on tightly to who they used to be. They're scared of growing past the people around them. Scared to shake up their routine. Scared to let down the people who are used to the weaker version of them. So they stay small, familiar, and predictable. You can't be reborn and still hold on to the remains of your old self. Let that version go. The version of you that overthinks everything, gone. The version of you that runs toward comfort, dead. The version of you that points fingers at the world, buried. Now something new steps forward, calculated, disciplined, locked in. This isn't something manufactured. This isn't forced. This is you finally stepping into who you were always meant to become. That means building new habits, thinking differently, walking into spaces with a new posture, a new energy, a new mission. At first it will feel strange, maybe even isolating. And that's okay. Every great transformation starts in solitude. This is your metamorphosis. And just like the Stoics, you have to be willing to strip away everything that isn't essential to uncover what truly is. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your old patterns. You are what you decide right now. Reinvention isn't fake. Staying trapped in an identity that no longer serves you, that's what's fake. Choose growth over ego. Choose your future over your history. Reset. Restart. Refocus. Kill weakness or live with regret. This world doesn't go easy on you. Life isn't fair. And nobody is going to show up at your door and hand you peace, power, or a sense of purpose. If you want those things, you have to become the kind of person who can carry them. That means confronting every weakness that's been quietly eating away at you, your emotional reactions, your victim mindset, your addiction to comfort, your distractions, your excuses, your fear of failure, your need for validation, your grip on your old self. Weakness doesn't just disappear on its own. It has to be faced. It has to be starved, outworked, and outgrown. And that doesn't happen from watching a single video. It happens by putting together a new way of living, piece by piece, day by day. The Stoics didn't just sit and think, they trained. They practiced discipline over themselves, control over themselves, and honesty with themselves. They didn't just get through hardship, they turned it into wisdom. Now it's your turn. You can spend another year going in circles. Or you can reset your mindset, restart your purpose, and refocus your life the way a warrior does. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being powerful on the inside, quietly, relentlessly. The version of you that you're reaching for is already there. It just needs you to stop feeding your weakness. So let me ask you, what part of you needs to die so your best self can finally live? Like this video if even one of these truths hit you where it counts. Drop your favorite warrior truth in the comments below. Share this with someone who needs to hear it and wake up. Subscribe if you're ready to rebuild your life with power, discipline, and clarity. Your journey doesn't end here. It starts now. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I destroy weakness every day. My reset has already begun. Sonnet 4.5 Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.